In this lesson, we are going to focus on one of the most sophisticated types of threat actors, that being nation-state actors. Nation-state actors are groups or individuals that are sponsored by a government to conduct cyber operations against other nations, organizations, or individuals. These nation-state actors are usually a part of a nation's intelligence or military organizations, although they may also operate as independent entities with state-backed resources so that the country can maintain plausible deniability for their attacks. Sometimes these threat actors attempt what is known as a false flag attack. A false flag attack refers to an attack that is orchestrated in such a way that it appears to originate from a different source or group than the actual perpetrators, with the intent to mislead investigators and attribute the attack to someone else. For example, one suspected false flag attack occurred during a malware attack focused on the 2016 Winter Olympics that were being held in South Korea. Initially, indicators seemed to point towards the North Korean nation-state actors as being the culprits, and this assumption was highly probable given the historical tension between North Korea and South Korea over the past 70 years. During the investigators' initial triage analysis, they saw that the malware resembled pieces of previous malware used by North Korean nation-state actors. But as the cybersecurity investigators and researchers dug further into the malware's code, they discovered some subtle clues that pointed to the real source of the attack: Russian threat actors who were attempting to disguise their operations by mimicking known North Korean state actors' techniques. This made the attribution especially challenging for investigators, but it showcases the lengths that these nation-state actors will go in order to achieve their objectives. You will find that nation-state actors are some of the most highly sophisticated and highly capable threat actors that you will face as a cybersecurity professional. Nation-state actors possess advanced technical skills and extensive resources, and they are capable of conducting complex, coordinated cyber operations that employ a variety of techniques, such as creating custom malware, using zero-day exploits, and becoming an advanced persistent threat. An advanced persistent threat, or APT, is a term that used to be used synonymously with a nation-state actor because of their long-term persistence and stealth. These days, though, organized cybercrime groups are also sometimes referred to as an APT due to their high levels of sophistication and technical capabilities. Whenever you hear the term advanced persistent threat, I want you to remember that advanced persistent threat is a prolonged and targeted cyber attack in which an intruder gains unauthorized access to a network and remains undetected for an extended period of time, while trying to steal data or monitor network activities rather than cause immediate damage. These advanced persistent threats are often sponsored by a nation-state or its proxies like organized cybercrime groups. For this reason, nation-state actors and advanced persistent threats are one of the most dangerous threat actors that we face out there because of the amount of resources and funding available to them. So, what motivates a nation-state actor? Simply put, nation-state actors are motivated to achieve their long-term strategic goals, and they are not seeking financial gain. Instead, these groups are funded by their governments to conduct cyber operations that can help their governments to achieve political objectives, such as gathering intelligence, disrupting critical infrastructure, influencing their political processes. These nation-state actors may also engage in cyber espionage to steal intellectual property or gain a competitive advantage in key industries. Most nation-state actors are not focused on the financial gain, with the exception of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, or more commonly referred to simply as North Korea. Due to North Korea's isolated economic position and the sanctions imposed on it from numerous countries around the world, North Korean state actors have been charged with conducting cyber operations to gain additional financial resources to support the Kim regime. North Korean cyber attacks often target banks, cryptocurrency exchanges, and other financial institutions to alleviate economic pressure and fund their other state objectives. Another example of a very well-known nation-state attack was conducted back in 2011 with the Stuxnet worm. The Stuxnet worm creation has been attributed to the American and Israeli governments by cybersecurity researchers. This worm is a sophisticated piece of malware that was designed to sabotage the Iranian government nuclear program by causing physical damage to the centrifuges used in their uranium enrichment process. The Stuxnet worm operated by exploiting zero-day vulnerabilities in the Windows operating system that was used to run the nuclear enrichment centrifuges, and the worm was able to spread between machines without detection. Remarkably, the designers of Stuxnet knew that the nuclear centrifuges were part of an air-gapped network to increase its security, so all of the sensitive systems were isolated from unsecure networks. But Stuxnet was designed to infect USB drives with the hopes that an employee at the enrichment facility would unknowingly transfer the worm into the secure network environment by connecting the USB drive to the system to compromise it from within. But even technologically sophisticated countries like the United States aren't immune to nation-state attackers. You may already be aware that there was a lot of debate over the highly contested 2016 US presidential election between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Accounting to independent cybersecurity researchers, it is suspected that the Russian government used a wide range of cyber attacks from across its various nation-state actors to influence this presidential election. According to the US government's intelligence community, a series of cyber attacks and disinformation campaigns during the election period can be attributed back to Russian nation-state actors, whose goal was to undermine the United States democratic electoral process, damage Hillary Clinton's candidacy, and eventually support Donald Trump's campaign to gain the presidency. So remember, a nation-state actor is a group or individual that is sponsored by a government to conduct cyber operations against other nations, organizations, or individuals. Sometimes they may also operate as independent entities with state-backed resources so that the country can maintain plausible deniability for their attacks when conducting a false flag attack. A false flag attack refers to an attack that is orchestrated in such a way that it appears to originate from a different source or group than the actual perpetrators, with the intent to mislead investigators and attribute the attack to someone else. These nation-state actors represent a significant and sophisticated cyber threat that underscores the increasing use of cyberspace as a battleground for a nation's geopolitical conflicts.